So it's been about 2 weeks since I started the project to remake my first game. It took me a while to figure out what makes it fun or stand out, but I think I finally nailed it. I'm making a stealth roguelike. For the past couple of weeks, I've been casually working on it, testing shaders, trying mechanics, messing with ideas and stuff. And now I actually see the vision. A stealth roguelike focused on stealing, exploring dungeons, and finding loot. At first, it may seem like a very simple premise, but stealth games combined with roguelikes creates what I would call a cursed problem. In game design, a cursed problem is when two mechanics just don't get along. They can create opposite player motivations. Like when a game wants you to get stronger, but every fight is chaotic and unpredictable. Or when you want a handcrafted, beautiful world, but you also want everything to be randomized and procedurally generated. These mechanics can work, but they're pulling in opposite directions. A true curse problem can never be solved. Usually people just create rules to get around it and make it work. For example, Smash Bros. Players hate the chaotic nature of the game and choose to fight on flat stages with no items. For my game idea to work, how do you have stealth gameplay in a randomized level? Roguelikes thrive on randomness, variety, chaos. Stealth games thrive on predictability, control, and pattern recognition. One is about improvising on the fly, the other is about mastering repetition. They don't mix. So how did I go about solving it, and why did I think this was a good idea? And speaking of problem solving, this video is sponsored by Brilliant. Brilliant is an interactive learning app with thousands of hands-on lessons in math, science, programming, data, and even AI. Instead of just watching lectures, you actually solve problems step by step. Their programming courses let you play with logic and code, so you can build intuition and not just memorize the syntax and the code, turning scary topics like algebra and calculus into something visual and approachable. What I like about it is it's all structured to help you think like a problem solver. Whether you're working on daily learning streaks, leveling up your programming, or just building intuition through tough concepts, Brilliant keeps you engaged with interactive lessons and immediate feedback. To start learning for free, head to brilliant.org/gamecourier. Scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description. And Brilliant is giving all of my viewers 20% off an annual premium subscription, which gives you unlimited daily access to everything that they offer and everything that you need to be a better game developer. So big shout out to Brilliant for sponsoring the channel, and we'll get back to the video. The big issue with this curse problem is also an issue with all stealth games, and it's the failure state. In most stealth games, when you get caught, one of two things happen. Either the game instantly punishes you and you have to restart, or it doesn't punish you enough, allowing you to just run or simply hide again and wait a second and cover like nothing ever happened. For me, this had to change if it was going to go into my game. Modern games get around this by just turning it into an action game when you fail. Stealth is no longer the core mechanic, it's more like a mini game. I didn't want to make this into an action game. I needed to find another solution that was simpler and more realistic. So I asked myself, what is stealth really? Isn't it just hide and seek put into a video game? And that's when it hit me. In real hide and seek, when you get caught, the game doesn't just end. Usually it turns into tag. When you get caught in tag, you don't suddenly just start fighting. You still have to run and escape. Your goal is not to beat the enemy up, your goal is to escape from the enemy. All these years, the answer to fixing the stealth genre was solved by literal children. The chase is just as fun as hiding, sometimes even more fun. Most stealth games take that tag part and turn it into Call of Duty or Ninja Gaiden. And really the best thing is to keep the player underpowered and to keep the enemy still pursuing you in a fun way. That way it preserves the full experience of hide and seek. That's what I was going to try to do for my game. But how do I do that? This solution breaks most of the core ideas of current stealth games. If the player is too evasive, there's no point in hiding. You can just run through the level. To fix this, the final piece is doors. Locked doors is just enough of an obstacle to prevent you from running through the level and enemies without getting swarmed. Roguelike games usually involve keys and locks. It's a core mechanic of the genre from way back in the original Rogue, and it seems to work perfectly here, because if your goal is to just run around and escape the enemy, you will also need to use stealth to find keys and items in order to progress. The roguelike element randomizes the level, the doors, and the keys, so it's impossible to memorize or predict where things are going to be. So basically my answer to this cursed problem was fix the failure state. Getting caught doesn't mean game over, because the chase is equally as fun as the hiding. 2, movement over combat. And finally, doors. To keep the gameplay fresh, there's going to be doors and keys and locks that are required. Once I had these 3 systems, it finally clicked. Originally, the game felt stale and it was easy to manipulate the guards. Now, I don't know if the path ahead is clear or not, or which way to go. In most stealth games, you have a clear objective, sometimes even arrows pointing you to where you need to go. You have a mini-map that shows you where the enemies are, and it gives you all the information you could possibly want. In this game, you have none of that. And if you get caught, you have the tools that you need to escape, but you still have to find out where you need to go. The way I see it, this makes failure fun instead of frustrating. That's something Metal Gear Solid 1 nailed. You aren't overly powerful. Bullets and resources are limited. They utilize every bit of the stealth mechanic. Footsteps make different noise based on the floor. You could tap the wall to distract enemies. You could hide under vents and tables. All the mechanics you see now in modern Metal Gear were figured out in Metal Gear Solid 1. Testing these mechanics together made the game feel seamless, and new ideas came easy. What if carrying too much loot slowed you down and made you easier to catch? What if builds let you specialize in stealth versus evasion, depending on how you like to play? This is why the roguelike part matters so much. The random abilities, obstacles, and enemies make it easy to come up with cool variations without bloating the design. For me, the next step is simple. Get the game to a demo state. Try to implement all of the basic mechanics that make the game work, and try to get it to a playable state as soon as possible. The only problem is, can I actually make this game? I've been making games for about 2 years now. Instead of spending all of that time on one project, I've bounced around, which means that in essence, my skill tree is kind of a mess. I've got points scattered in animation, modeling, music, whatever. Like I'm not focused in one direction. I'm kind of all over the place as a game dev in terms of my skill set. This project is where I want it to all come together. I want to use every bit of my skills to try to put this game together into a playable state and possibly towards a commercial release if people like the demo, and if I want to keep working on the game after making a demo, I will push for a commercial release for this game. But for now, I want to do my best to have fun making it. I've been really enjoying it. The new Metal Gear game just came out, and it's really cool to play that game while also making the game kind of inspired by it. And I think it's really making game dev a lot more fun, and that's something that people should really focus on if you're going to be working on games solo, is having fun while you do it. When I get the demo done, I will be posting it in my Discord. I don't talk a lot in there, but I do check people's projects that they may post, share updates of my own. So if you want to try the demo early, or you want to share what you're working on, feel free to jump in the Discord. Sub to the channel if you want any updates on this project. I've been Steven with the Game Courier channel. Take care. Peace.